Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. Welcome back to the Subnautica No Water Challenge. Last time we left off, we were in a pretty dire situation. How was I going to get through that door? Are we going to be stuck forever? What are the options that we have? Well, don't worry, all of that will be answered in this video, and a lot more exciting stuff is coming your way. So without any further ado, why don't we just jump right in? Oh boy, this isn't good. Am I just seriously stuck here?
You do know there is another entrance into the Aurora.
Oh, yeah, okay, why don't we try that one? Hop, hop, hop. Are you freaking kidding me? Unknown worlds, why? Why did you feel the need to seal both ends of the Aurora with these freaking doors? Is this really necessary? Okay, new plan, I guess? Or it's obviously that plan did not work out. Both ends of the Aurora, and by that I mean both entrances, are actually sealed off, so I had to figure out something else. Now let me just tell you, I spent a lot of time on this. First, I thought, why not fly to the roof? Maybe there is like some buggy collision somewhere, and I would be able to just fall through the roof and get into the ship. Now while the collision on the roof is certainly buggy, beyond the shadow of a doubt, it's not buggy enough for me to be able to fall through, so okay, that didn't work out. I mean, look at this. It looks like I should just be able to go in, but I can't. Oh yeah, and by the way, I also got the message from the Sea Emperor while I was up here. She's probably mad with me for breaking the game so hard. Alright, so then I kind of flung myself towards the upper parts of the ship and where it's broken, and I tried to go toward the back wall here, but unfortunately there is invisible collision basically all around this place, so that even if you get past like the first visible barrier, you cannot actually clip into the ship this way. See, I don't even know why that's here. Like, you're not meant to be able to get here. There's no legit way to get here without flying, but still, they felt the need to put collision here, which thank you so much for that, devs. Alright, now at this point I had tried it all, and let me tell you, it was really frustrating. I spent hours on this, and then I finally found a way, but there's a trick to it. And the trick is, you have to do it before the Aurora explodes. Okay, it could be a bit of a problem. Let me walk you through it. All you're going to need is the propulsion cannon and an air bladder. You fly towards it, and then you come right up here to the engine at the bottom left. See, there's a bit of invisible collision here, but if you maneuver just right and press spacebar repeatedly, I also bound it to my scroll wheel so I could press it a lot, you can actually kind of hover around here, get past this wall, and voila, you are inside of the ship. Now unfortunately, this clip does not work after the ship had already exploded, so you normally have to do this right at the start of the game, well, as soon as you can get the propulsion cannon. From here on, it's still not smooth sailing. You have to fly over to these rooms that you can see right in front, and then drop on top. Yep, that right there is the Prawn Suit bay, but you can't just get in there because the rooms still have outside collision. So instead, you're going to actually drop down here and make sure to aim for the rooms that are below you. Once you're there, just air bladder yourself up onto this ledge, walk up to this locked door over here, clip through the wall, and jump down through the railing, and there you are, inside of the Aurora before it exploded. Now, like I said, this unfortunately does not work after the ship explodes, and I'm not going to replay the entire game just to be able to get here, because at the end of the day, the purpose of this is to see whether it is possible to complete Subnautica without water, and since seemingly it is, let's just keep moving. Alright, so here we are, in the proper version of the game. I walked around the ship a little bit, did a bunch of repairing, looted a whole bunch of stuff, definitely have to grab that, extinguished some fires, and I even got my hands on the Prawn Suit. That one is going to come in very handy later, even though it's probably going to be for different reasons than you think. Grabbed a ton of disinfected water and some nutrient blocks, and finally the thing we actually came here for. I unlocked the captain's quarters and I got a blueprint for the Neptune rocket. Awesome. Now if you're wondering how you can actually get out of the ship, it's really not that difficult either. You can just return the same way. Now unfortunately I had lost my air bladder, so I actually had to use the secured peeper over here. But a lot of the objects in the game will work, some of them are just a bit less stable. And just like that, you can get out of the ship and be on your way. So returning to my base, I actually decided to very quickly check on my mobile vehicle bay that I left down in the grassy area just to make sure it's doing fine. And it fell through the map. Okay, that's just lovely. So I'll have to build another one of those as well. That's great. Boy, nothing about this challenge is easy, is there? It's almost as if it was not intended to be done without water. Crazy. I did a bit of crafting, built another locker, pimped out my base with the kitty poster, and I was on the hunt to get stalker teeth because I would need them for the enameled glass that is necessary to build the prawn suit, which would be my next goal. So I looked, and I looked, and I looked some more, and there were no stalker teeth, but perhaps a bit more worryingly, there were no stalkers either. You see, it actually started to look like there are barely any creatures left in my world. And yeah, I took a look under the map, and the reason why there are barely any creatures left is because, again, the ground despawns, so once you leave, most of them just fall underneath. Now, after about half an hour of this, I was basically pretty sure that most, if not all of the stalkers in my world have basically gone extinct and they're gone. And of course, as you may or may not know, you can't actually get stalker teeth without stalkers. Crazy stuff. So, okay, this is another game-breaking problem, that's great. Okay, this one is not that terrible. Okay, there are actually 3 different ways you can go about this, surprisingly. So one strategy is, start a new game, rush over to your nearest kelp forest as soon as you can, and then bribe a stalker to give you some teeth. The second strategy is to try to find stalker eggs, collect them, raise them in containment, then release them, and hope that they are willing to give you their teeth. The final strategy is probably the most luck dependent, but it does work. Some stalkers will occasionally swim back up to the map, which luckily happened to me, so I was actually able to farm the stalker for teeth, but this one is by far the least reliable, and it can take literally hours of searching to actually find one of these, so pick your poison. Anyways, with that out of the way, I'm gonna skip through the long grind here, because I just basically got a ton of resources, and then it was time to embark on another journey. I needed a few gel sacks and also a bunch of diamonds, and I knew those could be found around the floating islands, so it was time to go scale those things. Now I know last time Olvi complained that I didn't pick a soothing enough track for this sped up footage of me walking, so here's a little redo. Please enjoy this footage with some relaxing music in the background. Okay, here we are at the islands. Time to get the air bladder propulsion cannon combo working. See, the good thing about doing this a lot is that I've actually managed to get pretty good at flying with the propulsion cannon. It's mostly about positioning and then how far you aim your thing. Oh, and cancelling the flight with E actually worked the best for me when it comes to not taking damage upon landing, but your mileage may vary. Now, exploring these floating blobs of rock was actually freaking awesome. Also a bit strange, but mostly awesome, as I was able to just kind of float in between them, jump from one to the other, and gather resources. Again, I'm gonna skip you through the bulk of what I did here, up until the point where I was actually looking for the gel sacks, and I decided to go up to the alien guns since I knew they spawned around there. And yeah, I didn't check the power percentage of my propulsion cannon before I took flight, which ended up resulting in a very close encounter with the edge of this cliff. Oh, no. Oh my god. How on earth did I make that? Back from the trip, I actually decided to try one thing that you guys suggested. Apparently, if you build inside of a wreck in the grassy plateaus, you can just make it... Oh. Well. How about that? You can just make it disappear. Now, I flew around the whole freaking map, just looking for resources, gathering stuff up with the goal of building the prawn suit and equipping myself enough to be able to travel down into the lava zones, because that is the ultimate goal of this episode. I flew over the crash zone, get some rubies down in the mesas, I flew back, and at last I was ready. One mobile vehicle bay later, and with the power of the no water mod, I was finally able to build the prawn suit. Luckily, we didn't even need deep water for it. And so now you might be wondering why I'm using the prawn suit, and I bet a lot of you think it's for the grappling arm, but here's a little demonstration of why I won't be using the grappling arm. Yep, that's right. Outside of water, this thing barely has any effect. It just doesn't work. And so unfortunately, my dreams of being the web-slinging Spider-Man in a prawn suit are probably just going to remain dreams for, you know, the meanwhile. Equipped and armed with everything, I was finally ready to embark on the big journey down through the Blood Kelp zone into the Lost River and into the lava zones. And so I set off. I walked some more, and then I walked some more. And let me tell you, walking in the Prawn Suit after spending hours just running around barefoot feels so freaking clunky and slow that this journey really sucked. Like, apparently every little thing that this thing bumps into stops it dead in its tracks. And because there's no water, the thrusters don't really do you any good either. You get like a small hop out of them. So yeah, safe to say that this trip was quite the pain. Luckily, it didn't take me a long time to find the drop into the blood kelp zone, which, man, that looks kind of scary actually. Alright, here we go. Oh boy, that's terrifying. Good thing there's no water, it's just like falling into the Grand Canyon or something. I made my way through the blood kelp zone, also finding some of my first warpers in this playthrough, until I finally saw that classic green hue of the Lost River right in front of me, and at that point I knew I was pretty close. Now, entering the Lost River, the Prawn Suit finally came in handy, and this is one of the reasons I really took it with me. It's to be able to get through the brine in the Lost River without taking damage, which I normally wouldn't be able to even with the reinforced diving suit. Oh yeah, and it's probably going to help with the lava later as well. There is just something weird about being in the Lost River and knowing there is no water, because since it's a cave and it's already kind of dark down here, you can barely tell that there is no water, but just knowing that I could step out at any point and my oxygen wouldn't move when my depth gauge doesn't move, there's just something cursed about that. Now, there isn't much more to cover here. Again, navigating the Lost River is freaking tricky. Sometimes I had to try to climb some of these routes in order for my Prawn Suit to get through, and I would get stuck quite often because, again, this place was not meant to be traversed purely on foot. But after a couple of reloads and making sure I don't get stuck, I managed to successfully make my way all the way to the ghost tree, where everything died pretty much instantaneously, and from there into the lava zone corridor. Fellas, this is it. The first signs of lava, we're getting real close now. This is my first time actually getting teleported out by a warper, definitely not comfortable there. But at last, I finally stopped at the precipice and gazed into the lava zones themselves. It really feels like it's been a long journey coming here, boys. But I am more than ready to finish this. And so, with the final look, I prepped the Prawn Suit, and I leapt forward into the next episode, where we will actually be finishing this playthrough and wrapping up the Subnautica No Water Challenge. So I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed. These videos are a ton of work to get done, but it's so nice to see that you guys are liking them, so if you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. All of those would be very much appreciated. And hey, at least today we didn't end up on such a big cliffhanger, so you can't even complain. With that, I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful rest of today, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.